Hi there, my name is Jamie Devine. Welcome to I Am Divinity.
You know, here at I Am Divinity, what we do is we help you unlock your inner power.
So that's what we're doing.
When I from here to the soul, you have you wake up and mentally in my childhood.
That's the power. Imagine how healthy our community will be. Like, they're so pure and so powerful.
Whispers of the morning stars, love expanded, infinite, come to earth, a hero's journey, finding what has always been, finding what has always been. Finding what has
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Don Smith, that's Don with 2 N's, and I'm here to share with you what I've developed over 44 years that I call I Am Divinity. I say that I Am Divinity because I'm divine and so are you. No matter what you've done and what you haven't done, you are divine, you always were and you always will be. And it gets all covered up. And so all of those trips to the personal developments and all of those things, and they don't hold. And did you ever question yourself instead of just going back and getting the next one and the next one and the next one and none of them hold? Well, there's a reason for that. A very big reason is because you're working at a belief level of who you think you are. That's what beliefs are, both negative and positive. They're who we think we are. So going from a negative belief to a positive belief is not the answer whatsoever. It's about the knowing of who we truly are. There's knowing. It isn't a belief. And so all of these ideas of doing this and all of those trips to the wherevers, it's like dealing with a piece of something. But this is not a piece of anything. This is the total knowing of who you are. And what I've developed over this 44 years is a process that's instant and it's permanent. Now, the permanent comes in by you doing something for holding it. But I'm telling you, there's people who have this for years and it's instant. And how do I say that with such boldness? Well, put it in the category of a phobia. 90% of the population has a phobia of something. Bugs, snakes, rats, heights, water, whatever. And my question to you is, how long did it take for you to create that phobia? Yes, you're right. 1 instant. And yet everybody questions me about that. And yet that's all it took. 1 instant. So now, what I did was, I reverse engineered near-death experiences and phobias to find out how they worked, and I reverse engineered it. So if you can create a phobia in a second, and most times it's before the age of reason, which is 4, 5, 6. Think about that. At that young of an age, that in 1 second you created a lifetime phobia. Well, it's a lifetime phobia because you're holding on to it for protection. That's how the ego works. It's going to get you to hold on to something that's harmful for you so it can keep you aware in case it happens again. That's how toxic your ego is. And it's not your ego, it's the ego. Sorry, my mistake. Because you are much more than an ego. And so what it's about is if you create it in a second, why would it take any longer than a second to reverse it if you knew how you did it? That's what I do. That's one of the pieces. And then the other is the permanentness of it all. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. What color are your eyes? What color are those eyes of yours? Now you tell me how long you've had that color. Yeah, your whole life. That's permanent. Would you agree? But look at the permanentness of a phobia. You had it from age 4 to 84. That's 80 years. You'd think that was permanent. But it was created in a second, and you can reverse it in a second. So it's not. That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're talking about. Something that's instant, something that's permanent, and it's about who you truly are. Your divinity, you're divine. Don't ever forget it. Always remember it. And all of these other things are happening because you have an attachment to the personal development system of beliefs and changing a belief from a negative to a positive. It's not going to hold. It will not hold. Yes, there will be improvements. Congratulations on doing that. That's searching. I'm talking about a shift from this to a shift from this. Who we're not to who we are. And then doing a simple exercise. Takes 5 minutes 3 times a day to hold it. And there you have it. That's it. That's who you are. That's why it's like the color of your eyes. The color of your eyes has been that way all this time, and you still have that color. Well, it's the same. Who you truly are is permanent. Who your beliefs are not, because it's not true. No matter how much you believe, the negative or the positive about those beliefs, they're false. And so, I'm here to share with you to go on a journey under 2 hours. Now I'm talking about, like I've worked with 15 different pro athletes or Olympians, okay? That's just in sports. And then mega billionaires, millionaires, and health, cancer. You know, one guy, yeah, I met him in the garbage room in Vancouver. I opened up the door and there he is. And he's so gray and he's humped over and he's like, you think he was going to die any second. I said, holy shit, man, you don't look too good. What's going on? He said, oh, I got prostate cancer. I've had it for 16 months. I've had 32 radiation treatments. And I don't know how much time I have. I said, don't listen to that bullshit. Can I ask you a few questions? Within that 15 minutes, I had asked him all these questions. And all I knew about him was his name was Al. 3 weeks later, I get a call from him. This same guy. He said, hi, Don, this is Al Valjanic. I met you in the garbage room 3 weeks ago. Yeah? Well, I don't have any cancer. Now, I could fill this room with those stories. Fill this room with those stories. And you can access this magnificent, powerful, divine energy called I Am Divinity. And what's natural about it, it matches who you truly are. That's the key. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that you will know who you are and it will override and supersede who you think you are? Now, if you're tied up with that persona that you've developed, in a second, I might add, and kept it all this time, like I just worked with a guy that when he was 9, his mom died, and he decided to harden his heart. And he hardened his heart for the next 40 years. And that's what all his issues were about. We went back, cleaned that up, boom, it's gone. All the symptoms were all gone. That's how easy it is, and that's how simple this is. So if you want to continue with your hard work and all of those kind of things, and going back and paying for this again, that again, and this again, and the counseling and the therapy and coaching and all of that, go ahead, by all means. But if you want to be free to be you, free to be who you truly are. And those eyes, every time you look in the mirror, it will remind you how magnificent you are. And that's how this process is about, whether it's in an individual or whether it's in group. And I welcome you to join us in this journey of raising humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700. That's right, you heard it right. 210 to 700. So it's an awesome journey. We're looking for 100 that are willing to go to 700 to raise humanity's consciousness. So I welcome you, and I'll see you on our journey.
Greetings, everybody.
Hi there. Nice to have you on the call.
Glad you guys can make it, even though we pushed the meeting a little bit later than normal this week. So thank you all for being here.
Yes.
Interesting start to the day.
Yeah, very, very much so. Very much so. Well, it's quite the interesting thing that's happening for us. There's lots of absolutely stunning things. Jamie could talk for 2 hours on, or more, on all the things that's going on for him. But everything is just moving at such a rapid rate, except for people seeing the power of this model. And like I had a call with a guy today, mid-40s, and he has stage 4 cancer. Stage 4 cancer. And told him all of the things that could happen for him and the things that have happened for others, even though it's not a guarantee. But those are the things that happen. He said, "Yeah, I'll think about it." I said, "Yeah, you go ahead for the next 10 years and you think about it, okay? Because that's your intellectual program. I'm just being really clear with you that you're with the little bit you told me, that your intellect is creating your cancer, and you're going to ask that same intellect if it's a good thing to do this or not." Okay, so what's that sound like to you?
Insane.
Here he is, like, got 2 kids, and he's going to think about it. He's literally going to think about whether this is the best thing for him right now or not. I said, "Yeah, no problem, man. Like, I mean, you can always do the chemo and the radiation and get all burnt and whatever, do all those things." Yeah.
And just get rid of the symptoms.
Yeah, because that way you have a processing information is the exact cause of your cancer. I just want to let you know that. Okay. So anyway, so we'll see what his decision is, whether he backs out or jumps in. And each of you on this call, to one degree or another, has had some form of resistance where the ego just grips you and holds on to you and tells you all these lies, all of that. And yeah, it's pretty crazy, actually, when you come to think of it. But and you Sam, you had some different experiences of jumping in, running away, jumping in, running away. Am I correct?
100% correct.
Could you elaborate on one of them? Like, just give.
I mean, they're kind of all the same, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so-
tell one, you're telling them all.
yeah. So for me, it was I had such a powerful experience that every time I would get deep into my light and just start to have this amazing experience, I would self-sabotage it because I was too scared to fully surrender to that. And I would
To that what?
to the divinity, to
Right.
my divinity.
Yes.
And so I would self-sabotage, I mean, the main way I would self-sabotage is by giving it up for a girl.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's basically every single time I got close to it or started to really embody it and be in it and just live in this light, I would get too scared. That phobia of the light that we always talk about would start to kick in, and I would find a way to get out of it. And I'm hanging out with these guys all the time. So
Right.
imagine you being, thousands
your
of miles
own.
away on your own.
Yeah.
Whether you're conscious of it or not, it's happening. Whether it's by, oh, I can have a little bit of this, I can do a little bit of that. I'm not going to get on these calls. I'm not going to do my divine focus. Whatever it is, it's whether you're conscious of it or not, it's happening to one degree or another.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing, how we're so unaware of what's going on subconsciously. Like, who was it? I think it was Amy. Was it that was saying about yesterday, that statement?
I think that
Was
was
it Amy or
no, that's Joanne,
it was Joanne? And
the one that hopped on the call and you were talking with her.
Yeah, and she wrote out a statement, and there was like 4 different negative
Joanne.
things. Joanne.
Yeah, I am getting. What was it? Like something I'm getting more in my divinity or something like that. Like, yeah.
And zero awareness of the limitations in that one sentence. Zero. And it's not a blaming, it's like when you're operating at those low levels, that's the language. It's just automatically there. Okay, and when you're operating at the higher levels, automatically the language is different. The words are different. How you say them are different. Where you put this word in relationship to that word, like it's all subconscious. And that's why, like, I kept picking on her and picking on her and picking on her. Okay, and she's not on the call
No, she's not.
yet. You know, like, and so that's how that's what this is about, is breaking you out of your you know, your toxic ego energy. And that's how the ego gets so away with everything, because you're subconsciously in a subconscious state of you know, walking through life in a trance. It's literally a trance. And that's why people get pissed off at me, because I break their trance. You know, and I'll say something shocking, just boom, whoop. And that's it. I'm not going to, you know, where's that little kitten? There one of them around? There's like this soft little fluffy thing. Yeah, no. Like, what's the chances of that working? Something that's soft and fluffy. No, it's like, that's it. Shaking the energy that you're walking around in a trance-like state, and not even knowing it. And then all of the symptoms, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, financial, whatever, are there. They're undercoding all of that. And so the idea of, you know, instead of being in our ego, to be in our divinity. And we can't be 50% in our ego and 50% in our divinity. You know, I don't have blue eyes today and brown eyes tomorrow. That's not how it works. This is the state I'm in. This is your divinity state. And when you're worried and doubtful and rushed and anxious and pushing and forcing, you know, that's why Jamie had so much trouble, because he was so powerful. He was so powerful. And so he went and kept relying. The 2 times that he relapsed or whatever it was like he was so powerful that he used the human power to move forward and gave up his divinity power. And it usually happens a little at a time. Oh, I can have a drink, I can have a beer, or I can have the whatever, whichever way, whatever those were, okay? Or the guy that was with him that took my program. And yeah, and you know, I remember working with the guy. We were in Vancouver, I think it was. No, was it? And I said, I forget what it was. There was some gigantic thing, like a massive balloon. And I said, you know what, bud? Your ego's 10 times bigger than that large balloon. Okay? I just want to let you know. And yet at the same time, his experience was startling. Like, it was just, wow, there it is right there. And I think he held it for about a week.
Was it Marty?
Yeah. And so it's insidious. And I'm telling you, this pattern of flipping from divinity to that's 100%, Paul. Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. Shifting from the divinity knowing to the ego intellect. And that's the guy this morning. I said, hey, bud, you aced the intellect. But that intellect that you aced is what's creating your cancer. So I don't know how you're going to do this if you plan on taking that program with you into this program. So you have to make that decision. And yes.
Some things you can't take with you.
Yeah.
Gonna leave it behind.
Yeah, for sure. And once again, I've said this different times, but you know, with my wife Rosie with her breast cancer, she wasn't willing to let go of that old program that she had. And same with my daughter Shelley. You know, had to watch them make that decision. Which is, I don't know about any of you guys, but kind of tough when one's a wife and one's your daughter, to watch them make those decisions. So I don't F around.
Especially whenever you have the answer.
Yes. Yes. So I was sort of more emotionally involved with Rosie and Shelley, of course. But I use the same thing. It's like, I'm not effing around. You serious? This is how we do it. And no, I'm not going to give you that little fluffy little kitten answer or question. So I'm going to be right in your face. I'm going to challenge you big time so that you get to see the ego in its full regalia. And then you get to decide which system you're going to use. Okay? So Paul, like you weren't, you're on the call, right? Paul?
Yeah, he's here.
So you weren't consciously aware about this program pattern interaction between you and your wife. What's her name?
No,
Donna.
no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
You had no conscious awareness of that, Paul. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah. And so what's the chances of you getting out of that? You know, just on your own. The only thing that happens. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it wasn't working out too well on my own. I got so stuck in that pattern.
Yep.
It felt like that was the only direction I could go in, and I had nothing else to really rely on outside of me trying to think my way out of the problem if I created one.
Yeah, with the thinking. You're going to use the same thinking to get out of the problem that you created with the thinking.
Yeah, but you don't even know you're doing that.
That's the key, Paul.
It's like a fish in a fishbowl. That's all you know.
Yeah.
That you've lived in it your whole life.
And so the thing about that is that the conscious awareness isn't there to combat it. And we're just not aware. So
well, just to make a note, it doesn't just go. I mean, you may deal with it in a certain situation, and then another situation arises, which is again appears to be a whole new trigger, but it's not. It's actually the same trigger, and it just showed itself up in another situation.
of course it does. Yeah. And so what's neat about this is I remember Gilbert and how he just, I don't know how to describe it, but just had watched a video or something. He wasn't even on a call, watched the video and his whole world shifted, you know, like those are, the divinity is right here. It's like right here, and I don't mean in this physical, I'm talking about it's right here in us. It's right here. Yeah, that's right, Gilbert. Napoleon Hill called it the drift of the hypnotic rhythm. And yeah, so it's like, okay, we're going to expose this so you can see it. And then we're going to release it neurologically and cellularly, not intellectually. Because that's why these other programs, 90% of them don't work, because they're using the same system, the intellectual system that created it, to remove it. That's how it works. And so that's why it's incredibly, incredibly important to follow the steps after the transformation. Because after the transformation, it's like it's gone, but the ego is not happy with it being gone, and it's going to do everything it can to get back in. And it'll use any weakness you have. Let's say your spouse or your children or your boss or drinking or smoking or whatever, or sweets. You know, it just doesn't stop trying to find things. And
Contribution.
oh,
When you're ready.
okay. So there's a 3-minute video that Jamie had found that you'll get to listen to or watch or whatever that is in a few minutes. But yes, the pattern of flipping from divinity to the intellect, I find occurs with many so-called health practitioners. You know, that's it. Like, it's like the guy that I was talking to this morning with the stage 4 cancer. I mean, he was really given a short span. A short span. And what he said when we were done, yeah, I'm going to give it some thought and talk to my wife and see how it goes. And we're talking stage 4. Stage 4.
Doesn't have much time.
No, no, no. And there was another guy that, you know, his mother had cancer, and he just finally decided today to do this process rather than the chemo and radiation for his mom.
Awesome.
You know, it's like, now I understand that 99 ivory soap, 99.9% of the population don't know about this. I understand that. Understand that. But imagine the decisions when our life's on the line, like cancer. You know, like, you know, what would I do about that? What do I do?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like what Gilbert said, like with Napoleon Hill in Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah.
It talks about like the universe uses like traumatic and catastrophic events to break you out of that trance. So instead of having something catastrophic happen, you have Hurricane Dawn come and wake you up.
Right. Yeah. Seriously. Yes.
Dom, can I share a little example of what you were talking about? Like today I had a conversation with Dominique. I think you know who he is, Sam. But he was telling me about how incredible he's feeling. He's like, I was tapping into him. You should hear him. He just sounds like a little kid, like a little pure kid again. It's beautiful here. But he's like, I felt so good. You're not gonna believe it today that I don't even feel like I need to do the divine focus. And I'm just like, oh, all right.
There you
I
go.
was like, tricky. I was like, don't you think somebody who's been doing it for 40 plus years has said the exact same thing you said? And then he goes, oh, freaking ego. And like, like you reverted back real quick.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sneaky.
Yeah.
Tell them about how many times the ego tricked you out to equal us.
Oh, so yesterday morning, was it yesterday morning I made the decision? Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday morning I made the decision. Jamie's on this breatharian
Journey.
yeah, and I decided, well, I'm going to catch up a little bit. I'm going to do the breatharian and the liquidarian, or whatever those words are. Okay, like don't quote me on the exact pronunciation. And I decided didn't tell Jamie, and I just okay, yeah, I'm going to do this. So, and the reason I even got onto it, because Jamie and I had a long talk. It must have been 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, like the night before, about what he was on and all the people that this organization and just on that. The crazy thing about what they have, the only thing they have missing is the divinity piece. So they're doing it a piece at a time, trying to get from one shift to the other. That what some of you have had in an hour and a half, 2 hours, or whatever. Okay? And that's the difference. And so the whole, I woke up that morning, and once again, I say this, I'm outside and I'm looking at the stars, and I start noticing my breath. And it's like I'm eating air. I'm literally eating air. Now, I'm not saying that, like, we're not talking about you guys signing up for this program. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about my evolution. And it's like wow, like I'm starting to feel full, like I'm having breakfast from the air. Okay, here it is. Breatharian, liquidarian, that's what I'm going to do. And so I did. I started it, and it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing, the difference already. And so oh yes, so we went to a cafe. And they have these awesome green drinks, one's for oh, I can't remember. Cleanse, yeah, one's for cleanse and not that. So anyway, I'd gotten a couple of them. And while I'm there, now, cinnamon buns were my favorite. Okay, but I haven't had a cinnamon bun in 20 years. A minimum of 20 years. I don't do sugar. Okay, I just don't do sugar unless it's hidden and I don't know about it. Okay, and about 3 or 4 times while we're sitting there, there's this cabinet with different things in it, and one of the things that was in it was cinnamon buns. And the ego kept getting me to look at, like, trying to get my attention, the cinnamon bun attention.
It's vegan.
yeah, and it was vegan. It was vegan. We're in a vegan restaurant, and yeah, so yeah, I was there. Like, I don't know how long I've been here, but I've been there. That's the restaurant that I go to the most. I would say 15, 20 times. Okay, no cinnamon buns. Like, not even noticing cinnamon buns. And I'm sitting there at this table, and 4 times the ego is getting me to look at cinnamon buns. Okay, so like, that's the insidiousness of the ego. Now imagine not knowing about that. How much of a chance do you have to overcome that? Like, not having the tools to deal with it. It was like, I'm smirking. I'm just saying, yeah, nice try. Yeah. Oh, you go, bud. We got a clip. Okay, there'll be a clip here in a sec. So yeah, it was like this. All of these, trying to get my attention. So imagine not even knowing about this, not having an awareness or anything. I quit drinking. I quit smoking 49 years ago, and I quit drinking 44 years ago. And I quit a lot of things: coffee, caffeine, whatever. The list is endless. What I've done, but I've done them a little at a time. So, yeah. So, Paul, is it the ego that wants us dead? Yeah. See, it's so stupid. The ego's so stupid that it's going to kill you to try to live. Okay, think about that. And that's the system that you are relying on. You're relying on that ego system. And that's where the phobia comes in. Imagine your ego convincing you that, well, in Nina's case, you got to be careful of that seaweed because you're going to die. So all phobias, I'm going to die. All of them, every one of them. Okay? Now, they all come from, that's been shared numerous times, which nobody hardly ever, no, I've never heard anyone talking about it, is phobia to our light. So there's this phobia to our light, and then it manifests in heights and rats and snakes and closed in places and loud noises and whatever. It just, there is no end to the creativity because it's the ego is using your creativity. It's using your creativity against you to find a way to keep you stuck. How crazy is that? You near ready, bud?
No.
Okay, so
and the phobia to your light is also like underneath that is masked by the phobia, like the of death.
yeah, well, that's what a phobia is. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Every phobia, no matter what it is I'm going to die. So the ego is about dying and death, and our divinity is about light and vibration and excitement and enthusiasm and light, invincibility, and immortal. All of those. That's what we're about. Okay? And here you are. You're going to die somehow, some way. The more phobias you have, the stronger your belief is. That's all that does. That's what that is. If it's only mild, your phobias of dying is maybe this much. Whereas everywhere you turn, there's a phobia. Well, it's like the Empire State Building heights. Okay? Okay, what do we got here?
Sometimes I really wish I didn't have any food in my body at all. But my father, he forces me.
Somebody who does not eat is not tolerated because it frightens people when you question their truth. Most people are like your father. They hold on to their old beliefs like to a walking stick without which they would fall. Most people don't have the slightest clue what they are actually capable of. They are convinced they need to eat in order to live.
I feel so great. This is a revolutionary moment and we're a part of it.
Me too, it feels great. I don't have to take any insulin at all anymore. I'm not hungry. I don't need to eat. It's a miracle.
No, it's not. It's a disaster.
You don't have to punish me by continuing to refuse food.
This isn't about you. Stop manipulating me. I'm not your puppet. Hey, Elsa. Haven't eaten anything at all today. I feel high. Amazing.
Hey, Ragnar. It's fantastic.
We're wondering what we could do to go even further to ultimately change our belief of what we should eat. The belief of our parents, how we can overcome it.
We found a video on the internet about a man who nourishes himself from light, or prana, and we wanted to know what you think of it.
Between us, there really exists a worldwide association of people who do not eat. Of course, it's secret. The general public is not yet ready to understand. They shouldn't learn about it until the time is right.
So, it really is possible?
Oh, yes. I'm a member of Club Zero myself. More and more people now realize that in many respects, it's much better not to eat at all. For our minds, our bodies, and last but not least, the environment.
Well, I can't live without eating.
But you can, you just think you can't.
It's a question of faith. No, I don't get it. What about you, Ragnar?
Of course I'm in.
They're so narrow-minded. Why can't they just try and accept that something might exist, which they don't fully understand?
Well, not to eat.
But why?
The way we produce and consume food today is deeply harmful for us as a species. Food production destroys our environment, and the vast number of additives destroys our bodies. The reason for our nutritional behavior today is a commercial one. More and more people have to eat more and more food, so the food industry makes more and more money, and this makes people not only sick, but also dependent on the conditions of their social status. Those who can live without food are free from all social and commercial pressure. Thus, we are threatening the capitalist system. This will be politically explosive.
Yes, but honey, what if it only works briefly? But then you suffer from malnutrition, and you can even die.
Maybe you need to consider that what you think is true might not be true after all.
Well, it is true that you need to eat.
No, it's not true, Dad. By my mere willpower, I can alter this truth. By the power of my mind, I can alter reality. If I wanted it to rain this afternoon, it will rain.
Yo.
Well, that's a new one on me. I didn't know about this. Anyway,
That was per the CEO's recommendation, so
Yeah.
take it with a grain of salt, okay?
Yeah. So know this. This is not about you quitting eating. This is about you finding your divinity.
And then embracing the unknown. There might be something out there that you don't know about, just like the divinity. No one talks about this.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And it's, embracing the unknown. That's actually the topic for today. It's like there's a whole other world that we've not been told about.
Yeah.
And a whole all of these different realities, just like we were just on the Dr. Stephen Greer's
Yeah.
video with the ETs and stuff.
Extraterrestrials, yeah. So we're not about extraterrestrials, even though I spent a week, in 2012 with Dr. Greer personally, and had my own personal experiences, none of which I believed when we started. But I went anyway, and when I started literally interacting with the extraterrestrials on my own, so like, so having to eat. And question about food, yes. So like, there's just so many ways that the ego has of downtrodden us and keeping us out of our light. Now, no matter what it is, and like the guy I was talking to, like they spend all this time, this community that Jamie was aware of and talked to the head guy, they don't have this. So they've been doing all those things of not eating or the breath, like whatever those are. And I'm not talking about doing that. I'm talking about using that as an example. Yes. And what we're talking about is being able to, how different Jamie's experience is than even the leader, because they didn't have this process to quickly go like that and get rid of the ego energy. Okay? Now, just because you get rid of it doesn't mean it's not going to come back and try to get back in. And that's where the divine focus comes in. That's what that is. That's why that's so important. That divine focus. It's like as soon as I wake up, sometime in the middle of the day, and just before I go to sleep, my divine focus. Because what it is this reminder that I'm divine. I'm divine as soon as I open my eyes. Like most times it's 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, especially if I wake up earlier, like 3 in the morning or something, and it's like that. Yeah, I am divine. Okay, so if I really am, what do I have? What power? And how can I use this power? How can I use this power? And then, like what Jamie's delving into is these areas where, where can I go with this? What can I do? And yeah, it's like, wow, what is make-believe, like that video you just saw? You know, do we really need this?
I don't know.
You can do it. Hi, folks. Sorry to interrupt, but it's Paul. Paul and
Yes,
Donna
Paul.
show here. I got Donna here. She has a, you want to share it? She has something to share about, I think
Sure,
it
go
falls
ahead,
right in
Paul.
line with,
Donna.
go ahead, Donna.
All right. Well, the other day I was given these 3 little wildflowers from a person that I met, and I put them into a little vase. Well, by the next day, they were dying. They were almost dead. I'll show them what they look like now. This little one over here was totally dead. So yesterday I sat with it and I sent it all the love that I had out of the divine, from my divine self. Its little wilted head was down. Its little leaves were just barely hanging. It was just on the point of just like exhausting itself. So I thought, what if oh, look at the little leaf just came. So I thought, what if I just spent time looking at this flower and just loving it? So I did that for just a minute or two. And then I left it and I went to cooking. And when I came back, this little flower totally lifted up its little head and was healthy. And I cried and I cried. And I thought, look at the power of this, that when you're in your divine self and that when you connect with a living, a creature like a flower, and you just send it love, it felt it and it bloomed. And then the other little flower, when I was paying so much attention, put its little head in front of that flower because it wanted it too. So now I have these 3 little flowers that I send a lot of love to. And I'm so grateful. That was the proof that, you know, even things that look like they're dying can be revived with our love.
Like you.
Aww.
Like you were dying.
Yes.
You were, until 10 days ago or whatever. And now look at what you're doing.
Yes, and look at, like, Paul did that thing to me yesterday where he was taking all the shit out on me and angry and frustrated. And I was able, because I was in this state because of these flowers, I was like, oh, this is so funny.
Yes, go. Yes. Ha 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 ha.
But you're not, I don't feel a damn thing.
Yeah.
You just, it was like.
Absolutely. You know what happened to me? I totally shut down. Like I went silent because I didn't get the reaction I was looking for, right? She didn't react. Like, you know, the whole subconscious bullshit was coming back. And I'm like, so I didn't react. And then I just quieted down. And I felt like shit. I got to tell you, I felt awful. And
that's awesome, Paul. Yeah, that's awesome. That you created, that you felt so terrible from being out of your life.
Yes, absolutely. It was like, who the hell is that person? I'm like, where did that come from? Anyway,
well, you better damn well hurry up and catch up. Because she's
Yeah, I
going to be
know.
ahead of you, but she's already ahead of you.
Oh yeah, miles.
That's a beautiful story.
And it was
Absolutely
these flowers that
beautiful
taught me
story.
it. They
Yes,
taught me a lot.
yes.
Thank you.
But you were listening. You were listening. That's the key. Did you get that?
Yeah, yes, I get it.
Now you look at it, what's happened for you in the last 10 days.
Oh, it's amazing. And
It
all it
is.
really is, it's spending time with the divine. And actually the big thing was writing things down. And me and Paul will write things down and then we share them.
Oh,
so
awesome.
It works.
Donna, I'll share what happened to me. Donna looked at me the other day and she said, holy mackerel, where'd you get all that energy? And, you know, you're looking younger.
Now you stop that. You're not allowed to have that this early, okay?
I think she's wondering who she's with, but it's okay. We'll go ahead.
Well, the both of you will be going like this.
Yeah.
You'll just be nurturing each other. And you won't be able to get away with the old bullshit anymore.
Oh, God,
Not
that was
gonna
terrible.
happen. Not gonna happen.
No, it's not, because I'm having fun with it.
Yes. And I'm going to tell the both of you, I spent 30 years with my first wife, the mother of my beautiful children, trying to get her to do this with me. And she never did. Okay? Never did. So I'm saying that for you to really be grateful that the two of you did this together. You did it together. Okay? And so I trust that you're taking time not only for yourself, but for each other in your divinity and sharing, like you're saying, each other's experiences, no matter where you are, you're out here or out there, and you went to this show or you went to that event or whatever, and to share with each other what that is going on. And that, like you said, like you were saying, Donna, like going like this. And that's what you're doing. You tell me you would have done that with that flower 2 weeks ago? Not a chance. You wouldn't even have recognized the flower, hardly.
No.
Okay? Now that's what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about. Now, isn't that awesome?
Yes.
Look at that gigantic bright light coming from you, Donna.
Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration. It's not. So, super congrats to both of you. And
Thanks
I'm
so
glad
much.
that you got a kick, you know where, from your wife yesterday. Being
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Oh,
You deserved it. You deserved it.
yeah, I hate to say it, but yes,
That's
I
what's
did.
needed. That shock. It's a shock. It's not a feather. You're not using a feather here.
No.
Because the ego pays no attention to a feather. Now, a cannon or a shotgun or something like that, it gets your attention. Okay?
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah. So kudos to you guys. And the example that you're setting for other couples that are going to watch this. And go back to when you had your transformations and how easy that was and how simple. And the only thing that made it difficult is the resistance you had.
Yeah.
But you still allowed yourself to respond to me even though the resistance was there. And look at the end result. And it's not the end result. The end result of since then, but it's not the end result of where it's going to be. Okay? Janet, you're coming on.
She's in.
Yeah. So that's pretty neat, you guys. Love it.
Very awesome Superman.
Yeah, what a beautiful story for couples. Beautiful story for couples. Okay? Got it? So super congrats. Oh my God, I remember when I was a kid, I got so frustrated about having to eat and question about food. Yeah. Exactly. So, you know, we as kids know more than our adults because we're still closer to our divinity than our adults because they're so heavily into the ego. That's the difference. So anyway, awesome. Super congrats. Any other beautiful stories, please jump on. Pretty neat.
I had a really good time today. I was just like, maybe I can go play some basketball. I've been kind of half-assing it with basketball, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw it out there. Hopefully, I get a really good game in because I'm really competitive with like any sport. So I finally I showed up, and all I saw was two little kids, like at least 9-year-old and maybe like a 10-year-old. And I started playing on my own little basketball court, like on my half. And these
Yeah.
little kids were so courageous. Like they just came up to me, you want a ball? I'm just like, what? You guys are like 3 foot and a half. Like, like what? You know I'm gonna destroy, right? Like, but man, these little kids, and I asked them, I was like, where are your parents? They're like, oh no, we just came to the park. I'm like, wow, that's correct. Like, that's brave. And then not only that, but to come up to a 6'3" guy and be like, we could take him. I'm just like, what? All right, let's do this. Of course, I actually, it was 2 versus 1. I didn't realize how good they were. I kid you not, like I couldn't let them shoot, but it just brought out my inner child so much. They had a really good time, and then Spirit was definitely, the divine was definitely talking through me. I noticed that some of them were getting a little depressed when we were doing the other games, but the game was 18-21. Like it was close. Like, and I played against like professionals before, like from like UTEP and all them. So I was just like surprised. I was like, these little kids can shoot and dribble. And man, like I said again, remember I told you guys, I was like, I think at their age, I was like picking my nose and just wiping it on the wall. But these kids were just like on a whole new level. So I had a great time. Got to play with them, with some other kids. I think it was like a 13-year-old and like a 16-year-old that came out too. We all played
16-year
21.
young. 16-year
You're
young.
young. You're right. You're totally right. 16-year-old young, and it was fun. I saw the little kids get a little depressed because they got packed so many times, but every time the divine through me kept trying to empower them and motivate them like every single time and knew exactly what to say to them because they were a little down. I was like, hey, buddy, look, I don't get a chance to play with anybody taller than me. Come on. Like you get the honor to play against this giraffe over here. You know what I'm saying? So by the time you get to our age, you're gonna be destroying it. I was like, I bet you like whoop everybody in your grade. He goes, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But it was really nice to see him and to see how open they were to the wisdom that was just flying through me without me even trying to. It said everything that needed to be said for them. And so they went from like kind of like a depressed face to like a motivated, like, yeah, let's do this. Like I was like, don't I was like, the only thing that can stop you is you and your thoughts of you. So don't let anybody, not even yourself, stop you from keep moving forward. I was like, it's just a game. There's going to be so many more to play. And remember, you're playing against like a really tall, good. I'm really good at playing basketball. So I'm just like, I'm really impressed with how amazing you guys are at such a young age. So it was I don't know, I had a blast today. It was real, it brought out so much of the inner child. But the fact that
Yeah.
they were so open and so receptive and so like trusting of the divinity that is in every single one of us. So
That's what
it's
it
cool
does.
to
It
see.
brings it out. It brings it out.
Thank you for letting
Yeah,
me share. That was
you betcha.
awesome.
Awesome, bud. So, Janet, I was at an event this weekend and a handful of people come up to me and told me that I have a glow. Not sure if it's the divinity glow or not. Seriously, Janet. Like seriously, how could you make that statement? Okay?
You know what it is.
Like
Because I have nice skin too, so
what's that?
I was like, I have nice skin, so I'm not sure if they're saying, I don't know. Yeah,
It's
I'm sure
not
it
the
was the
cream.
divinity glow.
Janet, I'm just going to tell you right now. Okay? That's your divinity. Start owning it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? You're welcome. So anyway, it's like you really look at it, the difference between us in our divinity and in the ego? Like, is there any comparison whatsoever? Any comparison?
None.
None. Like nada. It's like, how did we ever get duped by the ego to begin with? You know, like, and then be in our light and start giving it away again. So, like, that's why I use the simple metaphor of our eyes. You know, what do we do? Whatever the color of our eyes, did we give that away? You know, like, so it's like our natural state. You'd think we would be naturally graded to, you know, to be gravitate towards our divinity. And the only reason why you're not is because of the amount of power that you have given the ego to keep you out of your light that you weren't aware of. And it's got all these tricks because it knows you so intimately. But the one thing it doesn't have, it can't stop you from being in your divinity. It can't. It can try to trick you, but it can't make you. It can't. And all you're doing, what these are, different things, no matter what they are. Those of you that got triggered by Jamie's talking about the breatharian and the food and all of that kind of stuff. Well, all that is okay. I'm being challenged. I'm being challenged to go to a different level. Now, whether you do or not, it's not up to anybody else but you. Okay? And you will be making different decisions in your divinity. Just like Donna. Like 3 weeks ago, Donna wouldn't have been talking to a plant. Okay? She wouldn't have been. And so that's you, each of you, whoever it is, waking up in your divinity and seeing how amazing it is in our natural state. I'm not giving you anything. You don't need anything. You have it all. And it's just becoming aware of, oh, this is my divinity. I thought I needed these crutches. There's one guy on the call. We did a process that was about 2 months ago or more, 3 months. And he I think it was a cane. Was it a cane or something? And once he did the process, he never used it again. Imagine. And I've seen lots of them. I had a doctor of internal medicine going for his 5th knee operation. And he took my process and the next day canceled the operation. That's a doctor of internal medicine doing that. How crazy, amazing is that? Okay? And so, like, your job is to challenge yourself, being in your light, and what's the difference, and keeping track on a daily basis. You've got to keep track on a daily basis. In bullet form only is all required. All required, so you can go back and recall, because they're so subtle. Things are so subtle, you don't even know you did them. Don't even know you did them. You know? And so it's important to keep track, because it's your true journal, the journal of your divinity. And then compare that to, you know, I went to the store today, and I went and bought a new dress, or I you know, whatever. No, it's like, oh my God, I stopped the rain. Oh, wow, this flower just flourished, and now it's talking to me. Like, like, wow. Imagine not writing that in your journal. Okay, got it? Anyway, so there is no, this is not growth. This is not growth. You're not growing. You're becoming aware of who you already are. That's a big, big difference. A major difference. Okay? You're becoming aware who you already are. So, and that's the beauty, like what Jamie's on is a fast track of a whole new area and arena. And whether that's something that somebody's interested in or not, that's entirely up to them. Okay? All I know is Jamie and I had an unbelievable conversation the night before last. And I woke up the next morning and I felt it was like I was eating air. And it was like, I don't need food. I just juices, drinks. Now I made that decision, and all that is a side note on our divinity and where we can go and how we're led and where else, like just that video that he showed about the girls and being challenged. You're going to be challenged by the ego system, whatever that system is. Whatever that system is, you'll be challenged by that, and by your friends and your neighbors and your relatives and your own family. Your own family. Yeah. And I tell you, it's it was 44 years to get to here. It really was. So I'm pissed off at you guys. You can get it in 2 hours. just to let you know. Okay? I want to put that on the record. Me 44 years, you 2 hours. Like, come on. Seriously. So,
and even for the like the food for you slowly kind of were transitioning regardless of this whole liquid area, and you were, I'm not going to eat this, I'm not going to eat that.
No,
you were just following your own internal guidance system,
Yeah.
the divinity,
yeah,
and it led you here.
yeah,
So you'll know what's for you and where you are in your path, and what your journey is going to unfold. So that's part of embracing the unknown, just being open
yeah,
to where that's going to lead you.
yeah. And everybody's different. Everybody's different. And Jamie had already shared the story of we were in Cabo San Lucas, outside a restaurant having a vegan ice cream, and he said, "Hey, would you like to go on a world tour?" I said, "Yeah, okay." And then Jamie is more accurate with the actual conversation, but it was, in general, that's what it was. And I said, "Okay, well, I'll let you know. And the only thing we can do is take our backpacks. We can only have a backpack, so we can jump on a plane, we can get on a train, we can stay in a hotel and be gone in a couple of 15 minutes." Anyway, that I said, "Yeah, okay," and that same, it was around similar to the, and we ended up on he called me on Wednesday. Now, just to give you an idea, I had a Tour de France bike. I actually rode with Lance Armstrong. Okay, just to give you an idea, and I couldn't sell it. I left my Tour de France bike in Cabo San Lucas. Okay, we talk about leaving things behind or not being attached to things or whatever. And yeah, it's like, wow. I had, I think it was 22 pair of dance shoes, ballroom dancing. Left them all behind. My suits, left them all behind. And just, okay. So those kind of things happen. And like, you know, he sent me a text at I think it was 3:30. He said, meet me here at 6:30 or something. And we ended up going on a plane on Wednesday night. Yeah. So, so it's like that freedom to do whatever we want. Yeah. So congratulations for you being here on this call to find out more and more about either being in your divinity, wanting to be in your divinity, taking somebody with you into this program, or finding out even more and more how you can do more, or just connecting with others with that same language. Imagine Donna telling people, yeah, I talked to the plant, and it started talking back to me. Like, you think that could be everybody? I don't think so. I don't think so. So that's the importance of this, is there's a language that you're getting to speak, and that speak is your divinity language. Okay? And it's just natural. It's just relaxed. It's just natural. Okay? So I was only able to eat half the food, not as satisfying as I normally would be. So yes, Janet, those kind of things happen. Our taste buds change, or like our cravings are gone, whatever. Yeah. So
Awesome. It's been a great. We're trying to not make these streams too long.
Yeah.
Just get the message, the transmission, and just move it on, get it going. So
yeah,
I think we nailed that today.
Yeah.
Embracing the unknown, and just,
yeah,
you know, just the divinity is going to lead you where you need to be.
Yeah.
Same time for tomorrow. That is
Yeah.
correct. For the next few days, what was it, 5 days?
7.
7 days?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a week long. Okay, so the next week. So 11 p.m. Eastern.
And we're getting close with the system we're in to bring people on.
Yeah, we're having to circumnavigate one little issue, because we
Yeah.
want to make sure that you guys can use cards as well, because we can accept crypto, but the card system is taking a little bit longer than expected. So we have some solutions. So we're not gonna wait. If we need to, we'll just accept it the traditional way, and then we'll wait for them to catch up to us. So we'll have some updates for you guys. And with that being said, do you have any last words?
No.
Okay, let's close it out with the video, and then we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep. Okay. Bring a friend.
Infinite love, guys. See you. A link for the new time. Yeah, you'll get one in the email. And just a quick note, make sure that you should be getting an email from support@iamdivinity.io. So look out for those emails. All right.
Okay. Over
See you
and out.
guys.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Transmission out.
Hi there, my name's Jamie Devine. Welcome to I Am Divinity. I'm super excited for you to embark on this journey. Just congratulations for even finding I Am Divinity. My journey has been over 16 years of personal development, spiritual programs, multiple religions. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 13. I never had a regular job. And so going through all of that, showing up to Don Smith 4 years ago to take his instant and permanent transformation, first of all, sounded a little hard to believe, because I had done so much work and I still had all my shit. I was still an alcoholic, a weed addict, a narcissist. My financial gains in business and investing would shoot up and then cut right down and start over, shoot up, cut right down, and I could never hold my success. Going through his program, it was about 2 hours. All of my toxic patterns and programs were completely gone. Literally just gone in a second. And I can't even describe how liberating that moment was for me. But right after that, I told Don, I said, I don't want to do any of the business that I'm currently doing. I woke up to my purpose for coming to the planet when Don told me his vision of raising humanity's consciousness to the level of 700 on the scale, enlightenment, which was the cause of all causes. The level of consciousness is the cause of all of our individual and collective problems on the planet. And so to finally have that solution, experiencing that solution for myself, I just wanted to tell everyone and anyone that would listen. And of course, with all my entrepreneur background and my skills in marketing, I made an agreement with Don so that I could just, literally my job would be to hold my light and share my light with others and bring them to the process and actually get compensated for it. And so I'm super excited to announce that we've now created this entire system for you too. Now imagine that, being able to go through this instant and permanent transformation for yourself, be liberated of all your toxic patterns and programs, literally within a couple hours. And then on top of that, being able to have all your financial fuel and energy and livelihood come from this divine system. And so there's a few pieces to it. Number one, we have an affiliate partnership program. So you're a partner. Your job is to hold your light, share your light, and anyone that's attracted to it, bring them to the program, and we pay out 30% of all the financial part of the system to you. That's the first part. The second part is my experience in the financial realm took me into Forex and crypto over the last 10 years. And I've been through all the roller coaster rides, all the ups and downs, all the scams and schemes. And we landed on just a couple people that were actually full of integrity, that have actually gone through the divinity process, and that are like nothing else. So our Forex fund is ran by an institutional trader. And if you've ever done anything in the financial realm in Forex, 99% of the retail space, the average everyday person, it's a scam. It's a scheme. You're going to lose your money. Maybe you're one of the few that got in early and took the money from the others, but eventually it collapses. I've seen them come and go over the years. But this institutional trader, he has 7 years of experience, and we have his entire track record of his strategy. He has an algorithm. He spent over $20 million in development up to this point. And so even with all that being said, there's still no guarantees. Of course, when it comes to investing, please only risk what you can afford. But we found something that's more solid than I've ever experienced, and it's where our personal funds are. And so you'll have access to that as well. His team has produced over the last 7 years on average 50 to 60% per year on the funds. And you don't have to do anything. You open up the brokerage account, our team will help you do that, and you park your funds there like you would a bank account, and his algorithm trades on all of the accounts. And so we can expect a 50 to 60% if it's anything like the previous average. But again, all the past performance never guarantees anything in the future. Just please be mindful of that. And then the last piece is our crypto fund. Now the crypto fund is very time sensitive. So a good friend of mine, Josh, who's handling the crypto fund, he's become an expert at this stuff. That's all he does every day. He goes and researches the top legitimate projects in crypto. To give you an example, in 2021, which was the last crypto bull run, Josh on his personal portfolio did over 8,000% that year. 8,600 to be exact. And so this was a kid that was 21 at the time and had his life savings in crypto and became a millionaire over that year of investing. And so just this last year, Josh told me, hey, I'm going to do what I did last bull run, but I'm going to open it to a few friends and family. I said, Josh, no problem. I trust you. I sent him the funds for myself, and then I said, Josh, I want to open this up to our entire community. He said, well, I don't know if legally that's a little tough. I said, don't worry, I'll work on that. And we created Divine Markets, which is a legal entity to be able to facilitate this, both the Forex fund and the crypto fund. And so we overcame that, and Josh is exclusively handling all the crypto for our community. And his target for the next year is 1,000%, about a 10x on the funds. And again, there's absolutely no guarantees. Please only risk what you can afford to risk. And so that's it. That's the overview. It's pretty simple. You got the affiliate partnership program, which again is just going to share the financial part with you so that you can actually create a network and an income for yourself while holding your light and sharing your light. Which, by the way, going through this process, we wouldn't be able to pay you to not tell people about it, because you're just going to be radiating and people are going to be attracted to you. And so we just wanted to create a system where we're all partners in this to reach that goal of 114 superheroes of light that are holding this and shifting humanity's consciousness. And so I welcome you to be a part of that vision and mission and part of our team. And I'm excited for you to go through your process. By the way, all of this financial part is only exclusively available to those of you that have gone through the process and committed to that. And so it's not going to be available to anyone else. So what a bonus, what a reward for accessing your light and holding it, that you get access to an institutional trading fund that you wouldn't be able to get access to unless you had $250,000 and you accredited investor and all those things that the institutions look for. So we created a bridge for you on that. And the crypto fund, unless you know someone like Josh, and even if you did, it's not cheap or easy to get involved with those things. But we've made it easy for those of you that go through this process. It's a $500 minimum on the Forex fund, $500 minimum on the crypto fund. So that's it. I'm excited for you.